Greetings, ACTIVZ family, and welcome to the May Founders Zoom. We used to call this Founders Call, but clearly this is not a call, it is a Zoom. And welcome for all of you who are new to ACTIVZ. David and I do this on the 15th of every month, and you are in the right place at the right time. We like to talk a little bit about highlights from the previous month and give you a sneak peek of what's around the corner. So let's go ahead and get started. We are all here, and it's great to be here. David, happy May. It's hard to believe it's already the middle of May, isn't it? Feels like it should still be winter time, in fact, but welcome to the middle of May.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here in the middle of May. You said it feels like it should be winter time, and you live in California. Yeah. For those of us who are now transplants to Utah, just last week, it was winter time. We went from, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago, a Saturday where it reached 77 degrees. And the next day, Sunday at 2 o'clock, there was a blizzard. Now that's a little bit unusual, even for us, but you know, it does keep you on your toes and makes things exciting. It's never a dull moment. And of course, we just celebrated Mother's Day. So once again, I think in Mexico, they have the right idea. They celebrate mothers all month long. You know, an even better idea would be to celebrate mothers all year long. But I'm hoping that everybody had a good Mother's Day. They really are the drumbeat to all that all of us march by, mothers, and not just mothers, but women generally. And I actually think, Ryan, that there's a great lesson in that. You know, when we use the word to mother as a verb, it means lots of things, right? It means to nurture and to rear and to raise and to encourage and support. And I think women, frankly, do that better than men overall. But I think it's something that all of us can do. And I think ACTIVZ is actually a great vehicle. How do we, everything we talk about is nurturing and supporting and helping and locking arms and raising each other up. And frankly, when you introduce someone to the company, it's almost whether you are a man or a woman, and they join, it's kind of like you are a mother, you are a parent, and you have a responsibility to train them in the way that they should go. And that means, you know, introducing them to the success guide. That means setting a good example of the way that they should go. And that means, you know, staying connected to the company and doing those things. So I could probably beat this analogy to death, but I do think that there are a lot of parallels, and I hope that everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day, because actually it's doing all those things that if your mother were to say, are you doing the things that you should be doing in ACTIVZ? And if you answered her truthfully, you'd be rank advancing. You'd be doing those things that you need to do to grow. And frankly, a lot of people are doing that as though their mother's checking in on them every week, because we had another great month in April, and we're off to a great start here in May. So just remember, if your mom's asking you, even inside your head, what are you doing? Are you following the rules? Are you doing what you've been trained to do? Are you doing what you said that you would do to yourself and to others? You're on the right track.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I too hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. And for those of you celebrating Mother's Month, happy Mother's Month. I think it's a great tradition. We should start doing that here in the U.S. Mother's Day just comes and goes so fast, but great lessons from my mom, and I try and think about those lessons all the time. You know, thinking about lessons, this one was not necessarily for my mom, but looking back, David, a little bit about last month, well, actually the beginning of this month, I had an opportunity to go down to Mexico and join about 320 people. 160 of them qualified for the Last Momentum Escape down there. And we paid for them and their significant other to go to this resort. And so there were 320 people, and went down with Ian Hain, and it was just us, and for a weekend. And it was an incredible experience. And I wanted to kind of share a couple of things. You would think that being in Cancun would be relaxing and just in the lap of luxury. And for a lot of people that go there, it is. For me, it wasn't. And I think I mentioned to you, David, it was exhausting. It was like more work than I've done in a long time. And I think I slept 3 hours a night each night, because till the wee hours of the morning with groups and teams of people, just talking shop, talking about ACTIVZ, talking about plans, strategies, great stories, just really kind of fun to hang out with so many people. And then up in the morning, we had different trainings that we put together, and people wanted to have their own separate meetings, and so kind of did that the whole time. And I was thinking, someday we'll be in the lap of luxury. Someday we can take it easy. Someday we can go on one of these trips and actually enjoy it. Well, not that's not enjoyable, but relax. We always enjoy ourselves, but we don't do a whole lot of relaxing. And I was thinking a lot about all of you who are watching this. It's interesting, this concept about lifestyle and relaxing and working hard, short-term imbalance for a lifetime of balance, right? And doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it, right? That's sort of the definition of liberty and freedom that we're after, more freedom, time freedom, which comes a result of building an ACTIVZ business. But is it really all cracked up to what we want it to be? And I was thinking about last weekend or a couple weeks ago, when I was in Cancun, would I have wanted to be there? Because it was just Ian and I, who works for us. He's an events manager. Would I have wanted to have been hanging out for a weekend with Ian? I mean, we'd probably run out of things to talk about. Would I want to be relaxing? Sometimes, we go on trips with our families, and those are fun, but I've got 6 people in my family, right? There's a lot of people to talk to. How about by myself? Would I want to go to the most beautiful place in the world and just relax? Never. I don't think I'd ever want to do that. And I was thinking about this, it's being in my hotel room by myself, down there. And I'm like, this is almost the very definition of hell for me. Being in this great, beautiful place, but without, the people who matter most to me to share it with. So what would I do? I'd get out of the hotel. I'd leave and go find people to hang out with. I'd go find many of you distributors to hang out with. And I've been thinking a lot about that lately. And I happen to be, sometimes when you have a question or something that just gets kind of stuck in your head, you start looking for answers around you. And this video of Denzel Washington popped up. I want to share it with everybody on this founders Zoom, because it made me think a lot about what we're after here and how to set our priorities. And I don't know if he coined this or if he was quoting somebody else, but part of this longer speech he talks about, he says, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. And I was thinking about that. What if everyone just had it super easy? Would anybody be working, building an ACTIVZ business? If you had everything you already wanted, would we be sharing the good news of epigenetic science? Would we be out there talking about sharing these incredible testimonials, talking about the underpinnings of NRF2 activation or microbiome health, or the benefits of this proprietary and patented delivery method that we find in Optimum? Would we be doing any of that? Probably not. Would we be trying to introduce a business opportunity to people and show them how they can leave the rat race and be able to work for themselves and create an asset that generates passive residual income over the long haul? Probably not. We wouldn't be doing that if we were in the lap of luxury. And it made me think, David, about the phrase, being sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that is really, I think, what this is about. We are in the business of solving problems. We're not in the business of luxury. We're not in the business of ease. And I think sometimes people think incorrectly about this industry that we're in. They think that this is an industry for people who want to get rich quick and don't want to work and want to be lazy. And they couldn't be more wrong. This industry is actually an industry of people who are very purpose-driven, who believe in the value of hard work, but in the value of working hard and then being rewarded for a lifetime, right? And being able to spend time doing the things that matter most. So I had all kinds of epiphanies attending this Momentum Escape trip down in Mexico. But I want to share that with you because, if it feels like we're going through, things are tough, right? Be grateful for it. Be thankful for the challenges, because if all we had was luxury and ease, well, we wouldn't be going anywhere, right? You'd be sitting stagnant and would probably be wondering what your purpose is. So welcome the challenge, right? Look for them. Don't try to avoid challenges. Try to get stronger, right? Bruce Lee has a famous quote where he talks about that. Work on becoming stronger, not on trying to avoid challenges of life. So that's kind of what ACTIVZ is all about for me, right? We have a big challenge. And so the month of April did that for me. In the month of April, a couple people overcame some big challenges. We had 2 new A11, we had a bunch of rank advancements in the month of April. Among them, some legacy rank advancements. 2 people hit A11, and Griselda Adame out of Matamoros in the state of Tamaulipas, she hit A12. And here's something interesting about her. She was what we call an incubator. I don't know if all of you know what that is, but an incubator, David, I know you know what that is. It's someone who signs up and then doesn't do anything, right? They're incubating, they're thinking, they're ruminating, they're maybe getting ready to get started, but they don't do anything. She was an incubator for about a year, and then in probably the last 5 or 6 months, she said, "Okay, I'm ready to get started working." She started to work, and she hit A12. That's for those of you who don't know, who are new here, that's over $100,000 in monthly sales per month, right? Average income for an A12 is about $10,000 a month. So she hit A12. So why do I share that? Because she's an inspiration, and she overcame a lot of challenges. She didn't take the easy route. She took the hard route, and she's achieving great things. So for me, that was kind of a highlight for April, seeing that happen. David, did you have any highlights from last month?
Well, it was we had some great highlights. ACTIVZ School was great. We just actually completed another one for May because that just happened this past weekend. And if anyone hasn't had a chance to go back and listen to either of those two, I really highly recommend it. Just great presentations by Jeff Boast and Dr. Joe Maroon. They gave a wonderful presentation. It's really interesting. I'll just take a minute. Dr. Maroon and Jeff Boast have been with us now, I don't know, Ryan, about 5 years, I would think. And, they originally were attracted to us by virtue of butyric acid and turmeric, the ingredients found in Link and Optimend, respectively. And they did a lot of work with that. They knew about their effect upon the brain and all that kind of stuff. And they didn't really know that much about genomics and NRF2 and oxidative stress and things like that. And they still are huge proponents of the benefits of butyric acid and tetrahydrocurcumin. But I'll tell you what's happened is that they were kind of genomics incubators, if you will.
Interesting. Yeah.
They kind of sat on it, and now they love talking about genomics. And Dr. Maroon has become a focus of Dr. Maroon's research in terms of NRF2 activation, and especially in regards to glutathione production in the brain. Being a brain surgeon, literally, that's of special interest to him. And so I'll tell you what, go back and listen to that ACTIVZ School. That was amazing. What's also amazing is that as we continue to grow, as we continue to become more and more well-known, we're attracting all kinds of interesting people. And some of those people are not just interested in the business, although many of them are. Some of them are interested in saying, in talking to us about new products and new research, because they know that we've demonstrated an ability to take products out and successfully introduce them, and successfully, through all of your efforts, introduce them to people who really need the benefits. And so we've been introduced to some really interesting new things that we are just in the very beginning stages of examining. But as you know, they're pretty interesting, and they have some. They clearly, the research is great. The benefits are great. There's other details that we have to continue to work out, because I think everyone knows we have pretty high standards. Ryan, you and I were, agreed upon that from the beginning. We were not just going to have Me Too products. We were not just going to have stuff that anybody else can have. We were going to have real products that really delivered the benefits that we talked about. And I think we've kept that promise so far. We're going to continue to do so. But that's something else that was kind of cool. And just a lot of exciting things happened since we last spoke on this call.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of Dr. Joe Maroon and Jeff Boast, they're going to be with us middle of July. I realize that's not next month, but middle of July at the Momentum Escape Deluxe down in Riviera Maya. That's going to be very exciting to see them. The last time they joined us, or actually Jeff Boast was with us on the cruise, he shared some information that I think was incredible. He gave a VIP training all of those qualifiers on that. And several things stand out in my mind, but it's incredible that they've performed over 15,000 surgeries together. I mean, that is difficult to think about. How many, how long would it take you to perform over 15,000 surgeries? That is a long time. I mean, they're well versed in their practice and in their craft. So it'll be great to be with them here in just over about a month and a half. Or 2 months from now. And for those of you who are still running for Momentum Escape Deluxe, you've got 2 weeks to finish. So if you want to be with them and kind of sit at the feet of the masters, you just got to push hard for 2 weeks, and they're the strongest and best 2 weeks of the month. So, I'll just say this, David, what I'm looking forward to is definitely that event. That's going to be really, really special to be there, the 15th through the 19th of July. But also, I'm looking forward to June. We have a national event down in Mexico City, and we have sort of a star-studded cast that's going to be down there. We have an author named Camilo Cruz, who is Dr. Camilo Cruz, who's authored some New York bestsellers, and he's a personal development expert. I've had a couple of Zooms with him as of late, and he's an interesting guy. We've never had someone like him attend one of our events before. He really gets ACTIVZ. He really understands the profession of network marketing, and we've talked a lot about that. And he's actually explained to me and some of our colleagues here. He's like, well, what your people are going through is this, and they believe in ACTIVZ, and they believe that other people can make it. What they don't believe is that they can make it. And he'll say things like that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is. You know us so well, and you understand what it is to be a networker so well. So that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that, and really having a historic year. I mean, having a historic month after month. And how do we do that? How do you, watching this Zoom, have the best month ever? I'm going to share something with everyone, and this will kind of I'll close with this for this month of May. And this is something that I recently talked to members of our field advisory board about the power of focus. Sometimes there are so many things around us, and we just feel like, okay, I've got a database. I've got to go update my contact list. I got to make sure I'm on the Zoom at 8 in the morning, the one at 3 in the afternoon, the one at 7 o'clock at night. I've got to make sure I attend the event next week. I've got to make sure that I take advantage of the promotion, the product promotion the company's running. I've got to make sure that I engage with the social media campaign because I really want to win that free product. I need to register for the next event. And I've got some people who are qualifying for the 500 Club. I've got other people who are trying to run for Momentum Escape. And, exhausting. So many different things. Plus, my favorite hockey team's playing, and then my favorite soccer team is playing, and I've got my daughter's play, and my wife needs me to do this, and I've got this. I mean, it's not just ACTIVZ, it's life. And I learned a long time ago that the biggest enemy to success in this profession is one simple word: distraction. It's just distraction. It's not the competition. It's not for lack of marketing material or videos or scientific publications on the product. It's not that the compensation plan isn't the best in the industry. It's simply distractions. So if you want to summit to the top, if you want to follow in the footsteps of the leaders and those who've gone before you, guys, you got to harness the power of focus. What do you focus on? What I talk to about what I share with the leaders is get you and your team focus on one thing. If it's sure, register for the next event, build event to event. What does that mean? It means you're promoting, right? We're professional promoters. You're professional promoters, right? And that doesn't take a lot of effort other than just to make sure everyone is registered for it. But what do you do during your day? Well, focus on qualifying for the Momentum Escape. If the top leader down to the newest person in the business focus on qualifying for that trip, right? Which as you know, we do those kind of on a regular basis in the US, we do them in Mexico. A week ago, we did our first one down in Colombia for Global Connect Market. People from Guatemala and Ecuador and Colombia and Peru, all these people travel there. But the key is focus, because when the whole team is focused on the same thing, there's a lot of synergy, right? If the highest rank to the newest person are focused on just that, you're going to see growth happen. You're going to see people rank advancing, but rank advancing and earning more money and reaching your personal goals comes as a byproduct. It's a byproduct to having a shared goal. If you have your own separate goal and it's different than the person who introduced you to this business, and it's different to your upline A12, and it's different than your upline A16, and you all have different goals, well, some of you might reach them, but you know what happens when you're all focused on, let's qualify for the momentum escape. Miracles happen. They really do. Everyone's focused. Everyone's praying for the same thing. Focus. Concentrating a lot of people's intention and focus around a single goal moves mountains. I've seen it happen. The best growth, David, that we've had in our company was when we figured out how to get people to focus on something in the last quarter of 2022, right? Going into 2023. And that focus quarter after quarter after quarter resulted in 106% growth year over year, 2023 over 2022. And people went from A2 to A12. They went from A0 to A10. I mean, all in the matter of 12 months. Lives were changed. So that's my business tip of the week. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to all of you qualifying, all of you, right, for the next momentum escape. So I challenge all of you to do that. David, what's your final word, and what are you excited about what's coming right down the pipeline?
Well, I really like how you talked about Griselda Adame and how she was an incubator. I think we have a lot of incubators on this call. In fact, you know what? To some degree, we're all incubators of something. We haven't achieved fully the things we've thought about achieving, we want to achieve. We might be plateaued in certain ways, and that's okay. But I was thinking about when I first went to Japan many, many years ago. I arrived in November, and it was cold, and there weren't a lot of green trees and things like that. And when spring came, I heard a sound I'd never heard before. And I asked people, what is that noise? This really loud noise coming from these trees and leaves around. They said, oh, those are semi. And semi is a Japanese word for cicada. And what happens is cicadas only come out at certain types when certain conditions are just right. The temperature is just right, the humidity is just right, and then they come out. But when they come out, they make a lot of noise. So I don't know what the exact conditions have to be like for us incubators to get up off the bench and get into the game. But I hope that it will be thinking about other people have done it. I really want to do it. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And frankly, it'd be one thing if I was living in the lap of luxury. At least then I'd have an excuse. But most of us aren't. So if it's a special kind of hell to be bored and not have to do anything because we have the lap of luxury, what kind of special kind of hell is it if we do need to do something because we're not in the lap of luxury and we're still not doing it? Well, I hope that those conditions will come together, and I'm looking forward to seeing a few more incubators jump out and break out of their shells and make a lot of noise like those cicadas. And I think that what's going to happen is that we're going to see these people that again make that jump, that the switch is flipped, that they said, you know what, I can do this. And unless I just jump in, I'll never know. I'm at least going to find out how deep the water is. And that's what I challenge everybody to do. Jump in, you can do it, and just make some noise.
Excellent. Thank you. Wise words. And well, with that, thank you, David. And thank you all for joining us. We'll see you same time, same place next month, June 15th. I think I started with a quote from Denzel Washington. I'll end with one. He said, and again, I don't know if it's him, if it's his, but I heard it from him. He said, with consistency gets you to start, right? But I'm sorry, commitment gets you to start. Consistency gets you to finish something. So make sure that you're being consistent every single month. Be consistent about what you're doing, right? Commitment. Hopefully you're all committed enough to get your business started. Now let's be consistent. Let's be consistent in taking all that massive action, contacting people every day, following the success guide, following your own daily plan of action. Guys, we believe that you can make it to the top. We're here for you. Any way we can support you, let us know. And with that, have a great rest of your May. Let's see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you qualify for the Momentum Escape Deluxe, and we'll see you next month. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.